Store coming at you with the core behavior of the week. This week, our core behavior is don't take shortcuts, especially if it's a detriment to our customer, the company, or yourself. And so, by definition, a shortcut is a shorter alternative route, an accelerated way of doing or achieving something. And so, obviously, what I don't mean by this is finding a better way or a faster way of doing something. What I mean by this is taking necessary steps out of a process that can be a detriment to you, your customer, or the company. And I think that the root cause of a shortcutter is short-sightedness. And it's sacrificing quality, it's sacrificing ethics, it's sacrificing something at the expense of expediency. And probably the best example of this could be maybe a criminal or a thief, right? So when you think of a situation where maybe somebody needs money, right, and the shortcut is to go just take the money from somebody else, hey, quick way to solve the problem. But the long-term consequence of that, especially if it's habitual and if it's done over time, that those end up catching up to you eventually. Obviously, in the example of a thief, it could be trouble with the authorities, jail time, different things like that. So, while it can solve your problem immediately, it's coming at a long-term consequence that you're not going to realize. And true success over time is the accumulation of good decision making over time. And it's sacrificing the short-term benefit for the longer-term benefit. And one of my mentors, Charlie Munger, always says, if the crooks only knew how much money there was to be made by doing it the right way, right? If they only knew. But the problem is the short-sightedness is it clouds the vision, right? And it's the immediate gratification of whatever problem you're trying to solve. And so if you can build a character of not eliminating steps, what you're going to find is that you actually do find better, faster, more efficient ways of getting the task done without sacrificing your own integrity, without sacrificing quality, without sacrificing your own honor, right? And ultimately being somebody that people can trust and getting more opportunity. And so, as you go about your day, and you're tempted to shortcut, maybe to tell a half-truth to your customer, maybe it's to your boss, maybe it's to your coworker, or maybe it's sacrificing on workmanship, just to be able to get it done fast. At the end of the day, those are going to come back to bite you. And we all have had experiences like this where we've done something and in the moment it just seemed like the right thing to do and it was an easy decision. But over time, those decisions catch up with us. And lots of examples like this in my life. I dropped out of high school thinking that, I could just go make a bunch of money working rather than spending all this time in school. Well, what ended up happening is it set me back really, really far in my own education, and I had to really struggle to get caught up. And it's one of the few regrets that I have. I don't have a lot of regrets, and but when I look back at it, like how short-sighted that was. If I had just put in the work up front, if I had just done what I needed to do up front, how much farther could I have been? And, when you think about that with your work, right, if you're just in the habit of taking shortcuts and not really doing it the right way, it ends up creating all this work for you to do on the back end or for somebody else to do on the back end. And it robs you of the real ability for true mastery, which comes from the deliberate application of your focus and attention in completing the necessary steps to get something done. So we don't want to be shortcutters. We want to be people. We don't want to take more time on something than it needs to happen either. But sometimes you have to slow down before you can speed up. And getting real about that and being more committed to mastery than to short-term gratification will serve you in the long run. So I hope you got some value from that, and let's be people who are focused on mastery and really developing real skills than we more so than we are on the immediate gratification of getting something done today.